welcome to Newsmakers. I'm your host, Jeannie Hodes. Thanks for joining me. We are at the historic Truman Presidential Library in Independence, Missouri, in a replica of President Truman's Oval Office with Kansas State Senator Greg Smith. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been on the show a few times now talking about juvenile justice reform, and a lot of all your hard work is now paid off. The governor just signed it into law. What is this going to mean for changes for Kansas?
This is fantastic on two levels. One, it's going to provide evidence-based resources to the kids that are in the juvenile justice system so that we get better outcomes, less recidivism. We're able to keep them in their homes or in their communities so that they don't lose the family ties that they have there, they don't lose the school ties, they're not shipped somewhere across the state into an unknown environment. The second thing is these evidence-based programs are cheaper than shipping kids all the way across the state. So we're going to save a ton of money, which we can then reinvest into these evidence-based programs. So it's a win-win for everybody.
What is this going to mean for their families?
Well, for the families, I mean, right now, let's say a kid in Western Kansas has some kind of charge, and then they're sent to Johnson County. So now you got to drive completely across the state of Kansas just to be able to visit your son or daughter who's in some type of group home. This will take that type of thing away and keep them at home or keep them in their community with their family.
Will the savings from not having to put so many kids in out-of-home placement help offset the costs of the support programs and different things you guys are planning to enact?
Oh, absolutely. We're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 million in savings over the next 5 years.
And what kind of impact do you think this might have on crime?
Crime's going down anyway. I mean, for a number of reasons, nobody really can say precisely this is why it's happening. But crime has been going down, and particularly juvenile crime has been going down even in Kansas. But we tend to detain and hold these kids in these group homes at a much higher rate than other states do. So this can only help, because what we're finding is you take a kid that's committed a low-level crime, put him in one of these group homes with somebody that's committed a higher-level crime, and they've just learned how to be a better criminal.
You've gotten pretty broad support on this amidst a year of not a lot of consensus on things. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you've kind of gotten so much support from people?
I think it's because it makes sense. I mean, if you look at the evidence, and that's what convinced me. We were given all this data, and if you look at this data, it just makes sense that this is the thing to do. It will make these kids better citizens. It'll make sure that they get high school diplomas, which we found kids that are involved in the juvenile justice system rarely get a high school diploma because of being moved around, and they're in different school districts and all that kind of stuff. So this is another win here where we're looking after the best interest of that child, but at the same time, we're looking after public safety and making sure that people in Kansas are safe.
And what do you hear from judges and attorneys on this front?
Depends on which part of the state you go to. For the most part, there are several judges, including the ones that were on the work group, that are supportive of the efforts that we did. And like you said, the Senate passed it 40-0, and the House passed it, I think, 118-7. So there was a lot of broad bipartisan support in the legislature. Some prosecutors like it, some don't. I think what you're seeing is they have to move out of their comfort zone. We're making them do some different things, and nobody likes to change.
Mm-hmm. So what's next for you? Are you next pet project for you coming up?
Well, the next pet project is to run my election campaign.
Well, then hopefully we'll have you back next year to talk about that.
That sounds great.
All right, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Newsmakers.